this is purely a quick introduction and demo and absolutely does not replace a professional course in crevasse rescue. Okay, so here's the situation. Lindsay and I were traveling on a glacier. Suddenly she disappeared. She fell into a huge gaping crevasse. I'm sitting there holding her weight, and I dug an anchor and I buried my skis in a T-trench while holding her weight. It was miserable. Then I transferred the load onto a munter mule. So that's this knot right here, and I escaped the anchor. So I am now free entirely, and I'm belaying myself down to the lip to check on her. I've tied a big knot in my rope so that I have myself on belay. It's a little bit of a no hands belay because I'm gonna sit and talk to her for a second and clean the lip. So, hey, she's okay. I kind of knock snow down with my feet, try and uncover the rope. And then what I have to do is pad the lip so I get my ice axe underneath the rope. This is an essential part of this crevasse rescue thing. If I don't pad the lip, as I haul her up, the rope is gonna dive into the snow and it's just gonna get lost in there in ice and snow, and we're not gonna be able to pull her up. So this is the point at which I'm gonna send down a pulley. Okay, so Lindsay, I'm gonna throw you the rope. Okay, so just clip the beaner right through that. You could just clip it right to that loop right there. Yeah, and then lock her up. So now I've got the lip padded. I know she's okay. I'm gonna come back up and take myself off belay. So this is where we put a ratchet on, and so there's lots of different ratchet systems we can use. This one's super tech. This is neat because the rope comes up but it doesn't go down. That just gets clipped right into the anchor, and that's my ratchet system. So basically what I have here is I have the other end of the rope. I passed it down to her, and she could have a pulley on her harness if I had one available. That would be ideal, but she has just a carabiner, which is fine. And then I go back to this system, which is a pulley with a ratchet built into it. It's called a micro traction. Okay, so now I have a 2-to-1 system already. So potentially I could just pull her up on this, right? So like, I actually can do quite a lot with just my own strength on this system. If I'm not doing super well with that, I can add mechanical advantage. And that's super easy using a prusik hitch that we just learned. So okay, what I've done is I've added a 2-to-1 to this 2-to-1. And so now I have quite a lot of mechanical advantage. So do you see this system? If I pull it apart a little bit, this is simply her belay line. And what's really cool about this is I can get another person to take out the munter mule and belay her. So there's a backup. And since this is a capture progress device, she's never gonna go down if I let go. Okay, so now it's really easy to pull her up. So the way we count mechanical advantage is I'm 1, which means that the rope opposite me also has to be 1, which means that 2 is pulling on this. This is purely just a redirect here. So this is 1 and this is 1. So we have 2 plus 1 going down to her, which is 3. And so 3 and then another 3 makes a 6 on her. So it's a 6-to-1 mechanical advantage pulley system. So for every 6 feet that I pull up, she'll come up 1 foot. And now to reset, all we gotta do is pull this back down. Yee-hoo! The other thing worth mentioning, you guys, is that as you add mechanical advantage, you also add load to the anchor. This is the system right here. I clipped the end of the rope to the anchor and rappelled down to her, took the extra rope below me and sent a loop down to her. She clipped in to her harness with a locking carabiner. I double checked and made sure that she locked it, and then came back up and added a ratchet. You don't need this tech device to work to have a ratchet. You can use a simple belay device with a prusik on the downhill side of it. Okay, so I'm one. We always start from the puller. I'm one unit. Let's say I'm pulling 100 pounds of force. That means that this side is also pulling because it's balancing me out, which means that there's 200 pounds of force going to this prusik. So now if this is one, this is just a pulley, so it's just a redirect here, which means that this is also one. So once it gets down here, that's 300 pounds of force going to Lindsay, and that's also balanced by this 300 pounds of force, which makes 600 pounds of force being pulled up on Lindsay. So I'm only pulling 100, but she's feeling 600. That can get you into a lot of trouble if she's coming up under the lip of a cornice, because you could be pulling as hard as you can and suddenly you're crushing her under the lip of a cornice. So you have to be really careful about that. That's why it's so important to pad the lip and check it out and clear it, make sure it's good. So yeah, that's that in a nutshell. Crevasse rescue.